Hi, I'm Julie, and this is Journey with Julie, a podcast where we slow down, sit back, and connect with real people sharing real stories. From moments of courage to laughter, motherhood, heartbreak, and hope. These are the voices that often go unheard, but not today. Thanks for listening, and welcome to the conversation. So I'm super excited because I've been wanting to do this for a really long time. I wanted to start my podcast, and this is my first episode, so thank you for watching. And I wanted to have my sister with me today. This is Monica, and I wanted to talk today about motherhood. And to be honest with you, my plan was to do this back on Mother's Day. And I've been putting it off, but I decided since tomorrow's my birthday, we'd start now. So sis, today,
Yes.
Let's talk about motherhood. But before we get into it, tell everybody how many kids you have, grandkids,
Okay.
and their ages.
So I have a daughter, Alexis, and she is 34 years old. And she has two children. She has a son, Christian, that is 11, and a daughter, Ava, and she is 5. And then I have a son, Anthony, and he is, I always have to 30, he's 32.
32.
32 and no kids
Wow.
yet.
Yeah, not yet. Hi,
Not
Anthony. Sis, was motherhood what you expected?
Oh, no. I thought that I was going to have my baby girl. She was going to have these big bows. I was going to be able to dress her up like a doll. Nobody ever warned me that they have minds of their own. So no, it was not what I thought. And not necessarily in a bad way, but every expectation was changed.
Exactly.
The love, however, nobody can ever prepare you for the amount of love that you have. It's just unbelievable, the amount of love that you have when you have children.
And do you think being a mother of younger children as opposed to a mother of older children, has that idea changed even more so?
Oh, I've had to evolve. I've 100% had to evolve as a parent, as a mom. As soon as you have a baby, everything's about that baby. Everything's about the child. Every decision you make is about that child and the well-being of that child. And then all of a sudden one day they become 18 and they want to be an adult, and that expectation of you changes. I call it kind of like the limbo stage, though, is because they wanted to be on their own, but then they didn't want to be on their own. So.
And don't you think, with that being said, that it was even hard as a parent because we were so used to, even when they're babies and they're young, we can control, oh, don't touch that outlet, it's hot, or don't go near the stairs because you might fall down. And then they get to that age where, like you said, they have minds of their own, and it changes. It's even hard on us as parents. I no longer have the control that I thought I once had.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And that control can also hinder your children.
Yeah.
I am a completely different person now as a grandparent than I was as a mom. And I think now what the things that I would have done differently raising a daughter and a son, for example, our little Ava, she's 5 years old and she has so much spunk and she has an opinion and she has so many questions. And it's a very fine line because I don't want to hinder that, but it also has to come at the right time.
Yes.
But I also, like the other day, I told my daughter Alexis, I want her to keep up those questions, to keep asking those questions and to have a voice. And so how do you balance that to never feel like she can't speak?
Yeah. Have a voice. Yeah. And I think patience. Do you feel like, I know that me as a grandma of 2 little girls, I noticed that I have a lot more patience?
Oh, definitely.
And that could maybe be because we're in different parts of our life, right? And we, like you said, we've evolved and we've learned so much about ourselves. And even my boys will tell me, you definitely are a different grandma than you were a mom.
Oh, yeah. And then also being a grandma to a son, to a boy, also with him, let him feel it. If he has emotions, let him feel it.
Absolutely.
How is he feeling? And for him to also express those feelings.
Yeah.
And it's okay to express those feelings.
Absolutely.
That it's not a weakness.
Because we know as we have evolved that men, I think men, because society didn't allow them to. And then I think as we get older, we've realized kind of how we harmed our children, harmed our boys from that, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. What advice would you give to new moms just starting out?
There's actually some advice. So I always think about this advice that mom actually gave us, I think when we were very young, is don't forget about your marriage. Don't forget that why it is that you had children. Don't forget about that relationship, because children, your relationship needs to come first.
Yeah.
Your relationship, you need to put that relationship first, because it will come and it will go. Your kids will be out the door, and then what are you left with?
Exactly. I remember, and Rance is better at reminding me about this than I am. I think mothers, we struggle with that balance. And he would always tell me, because we had, before we got married, we took a marriage class. I mean, I can't remember what they called it at the time, like a marriage encounter, because we got married in the Catholic Church. And they wanted us to take some classes. And that was something that we were told, as well as to always remember that you two came together before your children came. And I think a lot of times, and that doesn't mean that your children aren't important, but it's exactly what you said, is there'll be a day that your children leave the home and your children will move on with their lives. And we find that to be true, right? Like a lot of times we focus so much on our kids when they're home with us, and then all of a sudden they're gone. And if you didn't keep that connection, you're refinding each other again. You're trying to, and I think a lot of people
get lost in that.
So I think there's a lot of truth behind that.
So that's one piece. But then I would also, from something I didn't do, is that I think there's something to be said, because I see the difference in development of kids with working moms. There's something to be said for moms that continue with their careers and you're going to have that mom guilt to put them into daycare or whatever it is that you need, but there is something to be said for that, for the social aspect of kids.
Yes.
Because I can see the difference in kids when they were put into a daycare situation, very social, learn all of those skills at a very young age, versus kids that were never put into that, and the struggles that they have.
Yeah.
So I would say, if you need to do that for your situation, to try to work through that and not have the mom guilt.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And I think we're seeing that more now.
Also makes you a better mom.
World, yeah. And I think we're seeing more of that now. I think when me and you were younger, things were a little more affordable, I guess you could say. And so a stay-at-home mom was very common. We've seen that a lot more than we do now. And so we're seeing both working parents now. And I watch that as well as you do. And I admire the moms that are doing it. Like, good on you that you're able to balance both being a mom and work and a wife. And it's a lot. Like, it's a lot to balance. And so definitely. What do you want your kids to remember about you?
I would say that I want my kids to remember that I was genuine, that I was the same person in no matter what environment was, so that no matter where, whether with my nuclear family, with their family, with their friends or whatever, that I was the same person, that I was genuine. And then I think also very loving. I want them to know that I am loving and caring, and that everything that I've done and decisions, and that I've never claimed to be perfect.
Right.
Like I'll even tell them, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I would tell them, if something happens with the car, we can go check a manual. If something goes wrong with your kids, you can't check a manual. You just got to figure it out.
Right.
And we were doing the best that we can. But 100% love them with, never say that mom didn't love me.
And watching you, sister, and observing you with your kids, one thing that I believe you still do is, which I admire, I think it's wonderful that you do that, is I think you guys are constantly checking in by text messaging, like at night or during the day. You guys are texting.
It's a check-in. Yeah, it's not necessarily control, but just a, hey, thinking of you type of thing. Hope you had a great day. But then also, I don't expect a response back. It's just so that they know that I was thinking of them. It's not about me wanting their contact. It's for them to know that I was thinking of
So
them.
they know you're always there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That like, no matter what it may be.
And I love that. How has motherhood changed you?
I think that motherhood as adult children to me has been more difficult than motherhood of young children.
Yeah.
I have tried very hard on working on myself, growing and understanding myself as an individual and understanding why I am the way that I am, why I, not right or wrong, why I made the decisions that I did. And then, but to not pass that down onto my kids and then now be like, oh, holy crap, no wonder they make because of the decisions that I've made. But then also to not have guilt for that and just understand people evolve, we change.
Right.
And so that's probably one. And then I would say that I have really tried really hard to make the transition from a parent to a consultant. I'm here if they need me.
There you go.
You know, I would say the relationship with my daughter was a harder transition because she lived with me. She was my shopping partner. She was my let's run errands. She was, let's go do this and let's go do that together. Hey, let's go run and all this. And then when she moved out and got married and had her own life, that was a huge loss for me.
Yeah.
And I had to work a lot on myself about that. It wasn't a loss. It was a change.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I couldn't see it as a loss.
Right. It was, for the time, it's interesting. It's like the stages of kids. It's like, you know, when you're raising babies and they're crawling and you're enjoying that moment. And then they start walking and then you're enjoying that moment. And then you look back at those times and think, boy, especially when they turn 2 and they're into everything, you're like, oh, it was so much easier when they were just sitting there looking cute and smiling back at me. And you miss those times, but yet you have to appreciate, like you said, every stage. And I agree with you. I think being a parent of adult children is a lot harder. And I don't know if that's even the word. I think it's
boundaries, knowing where it is your boundaries are.
Exactly.
Especially when they have partners. And you know, there was one thing when Anthony was, I can't remember if he was home or what he was. I always try to be motherly, right? Pack a lunch, do this and that for them because that's what we do, right? Make sure he had food to eat. And one day he just said, I promise you, Mom, that you have taught me that if I am hungry, I will eat. And if I am thirsty, I will drink.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're right.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
We have taught you those things. We've taught you those skills. So, you know, that was just kind of like
But don't you think a lot of that comes from our mom too, and the way we were raised, and still the way our mom is?
It's almost it's how you show love. It's how our mom shows love. You walk in her door and she wants to feed you. She wants you to have drink. Dad wants you to have drink. Come have a drink.
Yes.
So it's all out of love. It's not because I don't think that they can do it. It's just out of
how we show our love.
How we express
our love. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. Do you think society supports moms well enough?
That's interesting. I think we're evolving to that. I think it's being talked about. It's being talked about a lot more.
Yeah. Well, another thing, you know, I think is really interesting right now. Some companies, and I know they didn't do it back when we were having young babies, when we were younger, that they give men time off now.
Paternity leave.
They give men paternity leave, which I think
bonding time.
Yeah, and I think that I love that. But I agree with you. I think we're still evolving, and I think it depends. I guess that's a broad question, right? Like, does society? I think probably more now than ever. You know, I see women bring kids to, you know, I've seen them bring them to work and a little more flexibility. Maybe it's the industry we're in. I don't know, but
I think COVID changed a lot of society, what society expects, what it doesn't. You know, I work with younger people too, and they have young families, and their family is priority to them, but I think through COVID and working from home, it's offered them a lot of flexibility that we didn't have.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we were raised, you and I were specifically raised to be hard workers. You show up,
Yeah.
you put in your time, and that is something I really struggle with now. Okay, do I leave? When is it okay to leave?
Yeah.
If family members need you, when is it okay?
What's the balance?
Where I notice now, sometimes different younger generation, they'll just leave.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, people that no, I need to go.
Yeah. You're right.
So
you're right. It's I think generation has so much to do with it.
mm-hmm.
The time that we're raised in, and I notice that too. You know, working with different age groups, we're all so different. Doesn't mean one's right or one's wrong. It's just we're all so different, but we can all learn from one another. You know, which is a good thing too, as far as motherhood goes.
But I think we were fortunate too, though, because our mom worked and had a profession. So our dad also stepped in and helped raise us and do this thing. Dad, it wasn't different for us for dad to be doing dishes or to do the cooking or doing those types of things while mom worked.
Right. We got to see both.
We got to see them, both. Yeah. So it wasn't different for us when we married our husbands, and they would do those things at our house too. So it was just normal for us.
Yeah. It just became routine. We just thought,
But I do know people where for a husband to jump in and do dishes, that's
it wouldn't happen.
Wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
Pick up the kids, wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we were both very, very fortunate that way. But like you said, we've evolved. We've evolved, and we're continuing to evolve. And you know, that's just my hope for everybody is that we see that there's no such thing. I think a lot of times women, we thought there was a thing called perfection, right? We're always looking for, especially when you're younger, I think more so is when your child would get in trouble at school, or, you know, they got in a fight with a neighborhood boy, or it was almost like we took it as failure, you know, at that
reflection
time.
Of us.
Yeah. It was like, I felt like it was a reflection of, oh gosh, you know, my bad parenting, what did I do wrong? And I think it's important for parents to know that, you know, we don't have control over a lot of that stuff. We can influence and we can impact, but we have to allow them to be their own people. And just continue to give guidance, and don't have that guilt. Like that's some of the advice I would want to give my younger self. If I could go back, I think I wouldn't expect so much perfection, and I'd give myself more grace.
That's one thing. When I've been fortunate enough to attend some Tony Robbins seminars, one of the things he said is and it stood out to me. Perfection is the lowest standard that you can set for yourself because it's unachievable.
Right.
There's no such thing as perfect.
Right.
I mean, we were kids would get popsicle or something. We'd change their clothes right away. I mean, we added those stress to us, and it was unnecessary.
Yeah.
I mean, my kids will even tell me now about the stresses that I added about wanting things and wanting the house a certain way. So if I could go back, I would change those things. That's minimal. That means nothing.
Right. Yeah.
So those are things that I would change. I would go back and change if I could, but
it's
recognizing it now.
What is probably one of your best memories growing up with mom?
With our mom?
What is something that you have maybe taken and applied in your own life because that was something that was so important to
you? There's a couple of things with our mom. Sunday dinners. Sunday dinners were always a time when Sundays were like, you know, the hustle and bustle of the week. You know, they were working, we were going to school, but Sunday afternoons, for some reason, I remember taking naps or watching Shirley Temple movies or whatever, and she would be cooking dinner.
I remember that.
And so we would always have a very nice Sunday dinner, and then we would always have dessert on Sundays.
I do remember that too.
So that's what I always remember. And then with mom too, mom has always fixed herself up. Yeah. That's one thing mom has, and even to this day. Yeah. She fixes herself up. Yeah. And for herself. Yeah. Not for anybody else, for herself, so that she feels good about herself. Yeah. So that is something that I take.
Me too. I'm always been a
take pride in.
I'm the
lipstick
girl. I think I
Mhm.
probably got that from my mom, and I know that my grandma believed in that as well. You'd always see Grandma Rose. Remember, she would always have lipstick on. So that's something that I always just apply to my life too, and it's just part of kind of like making your bed in the morning, right? It's just something you do to prepare for the day. So I think one of my good memories with mom, a lot of that is the same, and I apply to our lives. But also, I feel it was Christmas is our favorite family holiday, and mom and dad always made that really special for us as little girls.
And Easter, we always got new outfits.
Yeah. And so those were like holidays that really stick out in our minds. And since then, Christmas has always been important to, I know, Monica's family, all of us. And there was time when the kids were younger, and it was a lot of work on us, but we did it. And we would all spend Christmas at mom and dad's house. So Monica and Mike, her husband, we would haul all the toys, and Rance and I would haul all the toys to Nana and Papa's house because Santa was visiting their home. And we'd all get up Christmas morning together, and we would all go downstairs and open gifts, and Santa visited Nana and Papa's house. And mom and dad really made that special for all of us. Rance talks about that all the time.
What I would say, one thing about mom, I mean, and dad too, we can't leave dad out of it, but we're talking about moms, is that mom, when we got married, they, how they always say that when you have a son that gets married, you lose a son. But when your daughter gets married, you gain a son. But with mom and dad, when we got married, they gained 2 sons.
Yes.
And they've made that very apparent. I mean, very evident from even the time that even before marriage.
Yeah.
They are their sons.
Yeah.
And so, not our husbands, not their son-in-laws,
right?
Their sons.
Yeah.
And that is one thing that I 100% appreciate, and I am trying to instill, I am want to instill that too with my son-in-law.
Absolutely.
And then my daughter-in-law.
Absolutely.
Daughter-in-law, that they are part of our family.
Yeah. And they feel it and they know it. And I agree.
Yeah. So. And that's not normal. That's not.
You don't see that all the time.
Not normal in societies.
No.
In our society, no.
We're really lucky that way. We're really fortunate. Well, 20 minutes is about up, sis. So thank you for being my first guest on the podcast, and thank you for being my sister. I'm really lucky to have a sister that we have both have been through motherhood together. We go through it together since our kids were little, and even now as adults. It's nice to have someone that I can call, when I'm feeling like my struggles with being a mother, not good enough, not doing the right things. So thank you for always being there for me.
No, absolutely. That's one thing we do. We talk every morning, even if it's just, hey, have a good day. We talk to our mom every morning. Sometimes it's very short, but we talk to our mom every morning. We do a daily check-in.
Yeah.
And so that is something we're very blessed with. And that's one thing that I would always just tell people, just check on your family.
Yep. So
don't have to, what do I want to say, fix all the challenges, just check in.
Yep.
So,
okay, sis, I love you.
Thank you. Love you.